Hi loves! Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today's vlog is at risk of being a little boring. Just a little. Because it is going to be a slow girly night with me. Sam is actually going to his parents after work today because he is going to be practicing camping with his sister. We want to do like a full camp experience. I am not signing myself up for this, but I will be the supportive partner. So I have tonight to myself, which is very rare, and I'm a little sad I already miss him, but I figured I'd still vlog today because we are keeping consistent in July. I literally had to drag myself. It is 5 p.m., 5:01, and I just now done my makeup and put a wig on. The motivation to do content in the summertime is null and void. Every summer I get like this, so I'm hoping that I can really push myself this month and focus on like newness and making content exciting. So I'm gonna be filming for the next like half hour before I transition into cooking dinner, and I figured I'd kind of take you guys along what a normal night in my life would look like when I don't have anything planned, I'm not going anywhere, I do a lot of stuff on my laptop. So this might be interesting for some, it might be a little boring for others, but I'll try to make it as girly, coquette, and cute as I can. I just finished filming a 15-minute get ready with me, like how can you do glam quickly for TikTok, and now I have 3 more TikToks I want to film. One is my first TikTok talking about my bridal mood board that I'm excited to share because I've never really talked about my thoughts on weddings, and I still have to figure out the format of our wedding. So that's been the biggest stressor of me, which is why I haven't talked that much about it, because I feel like if I see venues and I solidify the venue and I already know what date we want to get married, then I will know and can share more. But I've been trying to be creative because Sam and I don't really want to do a traditional wedding, but we don't want to miss out on aspects, so all of that in a different vlog. Then I'll be filming a long overdue video for TikTok for this Dune Sun Care. I've never used them before, but this is supposed to be an SPF that also leaves your skin glowy, so I want to film this while the sun is still out. And finally, I'm going to film another like style evolution video because you guys like to talk about those things. I do have on my cozy little lounge set, which I'm honestly not thinking about changing for any of the talking videos. Even though my bra strap is showing, it's still very cute. I got this during the Victoria's Secret semi-annual sale. This is my first time wearing it, and it does come with a button-up long sleeve that you can wear in the fall and winter, but it's just pink boxers that are super cute, and then a little halter top. They are see-through, but I'm wearing black underwear, so it's a little harder to see through, unless you guys can clearly see it in this lighting, which is very likely. I think it's cute, and I think it's the perfect shade of pink. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, but first I need to answer my phone because my man calls me every day after he gets off of work, and I miss him. We have since decided that we're starting dinner because it's almost 5:30. It is 5:30. So let's see how much filming I get done after eating and having a happy belly. I have 3 aprons, but for some reason the other 2, I don't know what happened to the ties to even put the apron above on my neck, but they went missing, so I'm gonna donate that. I have been wearing this apron whenever I cook because your girl tends to make messes. But it's been so nice. I feel a little domesticated. We don't support the trad wife movement here on this channel, but I do like to cook. I do find it very satisfying. I think it's my OCD. Following a recipe is like checking off boxes to me, so we love it. So this is my apron. I think I got it from Home Goods like years ago. It might even be a gift. Who knows?
She's wild, she's funny, doesn't care about clothes or money. She just cares for me, she's all I need, she's my gal. Ain't nothing she would not do for me. She never plays it coy, my bundle of joy. She's the one I've been dreaming of. I'm overjoyed, 'cause boy, she's my gal.
For all my feminine girlies out there who like to cook, if you can get your hands on this set, I 10 out of 10 recommend the Lennox Spice Village. I recently moved it to this drawer so that it's right next to my stove because it makes it easier, and I couldn't get my hands on the rack, but I also didn't want to take up counter space. But these are all my little Spice Village babies, and I love every single one of them. The one con about this is that they don't have sifters, so you can't sprinkle as easily with them as you would a regular seasoning. But I love them, especially paprika. It's my fave. 10 out of 10 would recommend. It just makes cooking a lot more fun.
Dame nor a lady, not in the way she walks, the way she talks, or the way she loves me. Just look at me, I'm like a monkey in a coconut tree. You know I'm overjoyed, 'cause boy oh boy, she's my gal. She asks me when I say let's go out dancing. Your place or mine, don't waste my time with romancing.
Okay, we officially just finished dinner, and I finished some content, and I'm really excited, so I'll announce it here because you guys will be seeing it on this channel. I am going to attempt to launch my own podcast. I kind of also want to do a podcast with Sam. One, because I think his voice deserves to be heard, and two, I think it'd be fun, and we've been talking a lot about doing it on, like, history, which I know sounds really random, but that's something that he's interested in, and I think because he knows so much more than I do, and he's much more intellectual than I am, I think it'd be kind of fun, because I think that I can bring the humor, the lighthearted joy, the everyday not knowingness, and he can bring the facts. But I am starting a separate podcast that is going to be a mixture. It's like a hybrid podcast of solo episodes and episodes that I hope to have guests on and interview, and it's called Sweetly Said, honest advice from your fellow Capricorn girly. And I'll give a shout out to Hikari because I have always thought about doing a podcast. I think that they're fun, and I have produced podcasts for my professional career job, and I love a good podcast. I'm an avid podcast listener. There are so many Black women in particular that I love to listen to, and I think there needs to be more of us. But I'm shouting out Hikari because I've always thought about doing it and then have gotten imposter syndrome and was like, oh, this is too much. And you know me, I love a good new project, but I just never attempted to do it. And the last time I was in New York, she was telling me that I need to do a podcast, and she was like, call it What Would Carrie Do, which I did like the name, and I thought about Carrie Diaries, a spin-off of that, but I think Sweetly Said is really cute. So yeah, I'm gonna start this podcast. I plan to start recording this month and launch it either at the end of August or September, since fall is my favorite season, and it's just going to be honest, candid advice, how to get through life, and not just from me because I'm still learning as well. But I always say, this is our first time on this earth, and this is our first time living for a lot of us, so there's a lot of things to figure out, and I have always been an old lady at heart, and I have always been a little bit more mature for my age in terms of how I view things. And that's not to gas me up, although you should gas yourself up. But it's just to say that I like sharing my perspective for folks. And because I'm a January Capricorn, we are very honest. But I try not to be too mean about things, because I always tell people when I'm being brutally honest, I'm not trying to come for you. Unless you come for me first, then all bets are off, okay? I'm friendly until that. But if I care about you, if I'm giving you brutally honest advice, it's never me trying to be mean, even if the advice might be a little harsh. It is coming from a place of love, and I am also working on not giving unsolicited advice, and I think by having a podcast where I can do that, it gives me an outlet. All of that to say, if you want to listen to a podcast, feel free to stay tuned and definitely subscribe, because I'm going to be posting the video versions of podcast episodes on this channel in between my vlogs, and then of course uploading on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. But I still have some back-end stuff that I need to solidify before I start recording. So yeah, that's my little surprise for this video, I guess. And like I said, this video is going to be very boring. It's a lot of chit-chatting because I'm by myself at night. The bowl that I made, by the way, the Greek bowl, delicious. So the other quick update I'll give you guys is on my aura ring. This little thing right here, if you haven't seen my past recent vlogs, I've been talking to you guys about it. I have now had this ring for at least a month, and I absolutely love it. I've been talking about birth control, I've been talking about the aura ring. I think the birth control aura ring story fully will be on my podcast. But long story short, I was on birth control for 6 years, decided to get off of it because I went to the hospital 2 months ago for chest pain. In hindsight, I think the chest pain might have been mold sickness. That's a whole nother story. But they kept me in the hospital for 6 hours because they kept having to redo tests because they were afraid that it was a blood clot caused by my birth control. And that alone was enough for me to say, you know what? Let's see if there's an alternative. So I transitioned off of birth control. It's only been like a month and a half since I've stopped taking it. I stopped taking it after that ER trip. And I got the aura ring because I want to be able to more accurately track my natural cycle as it gets into the flow of things. And I have seen mixed feedback from people online about this. Not for me personally, but just in general. I've been doing a lot of research about this. I've been reading about birth control for the past like 2 years. So even before I knew that I was going to get off of it for sure. A lot of people are saying they get the aura ring, they get the Natural Cycles app, and then they get pregnant, which I'm not manifesting that right now. Pushing that out of here, right? But my toxic trait is thinking that I can follow the rules better than everyone else. And I think a large thing that I do want to say that I don't think I've said in my last few vlogs is that you cannot just immediately get off birth control and expect that you can follow your cycle accurately and not get pregnant. You can't be risky. I think a lot of the women who were saying that their stories went awry were people who weren't really thinking fully and taking a lot more risk than they should have. Your cycle is probably not going to return to normal for at least a good year after stopping birth control, especially the longer that you've been on it. So I am using the aura ring to track, and so far it actually has been accurate. And I think a large part of that is because I was taking the right vitamins, eating healthily, and I've always been active. And that was something that I also read about doing research on transitioning off of birth control, how to make it easier, how to make it less, chaotic in your system. I think my transition has been going smoothly. I also, disclaimer that your body is different than everyone else's bodies. All of our bodies are going to react differently if we take different forms of birth control, different brands, all of that are different factors. And for me, I did not take birth control as a symptom cover-up. There are a lot of women I know, honestly, most of the women in my life who I know are taking some form of hormonal birth control, they're taking it not just as birth control, but also because of a terrible period, or they already had imbalanced hormones, or acne, or like something like that. I was lucky enough to never have to do that. And I took birth control strictly because I was not trying to get pregnant. I'm still not trying to get pregnant, but I'm being very smart and cautious about those things. So I just want to throw that out there, because if you were thinking about getting off of hormonal birth control and transitioning to something more natural, whether that's what I'm doing, which is no type of medication, an aura ring to track your cycles, I also have ovulation strips, or you could go like the non-hormonal IUD route. Whatever you're doing to get off of birth control, you need to give yourself time, and you need to act accordingly. You have to act like you're not on birth control. Y'all can't just be out here being risky. So that's it on that. Always use a second form of birth control, some form of protection. I know it's very awkward for people to talk about, but I'm also learning that it really shouldn't be that awkward. And a lot of the times women don't know about these things because we don't want to talk about them because they seem taboo. So here we go. Don't be risky. If you get the Natural Cycles app and it tells you have green days, do not follow the green days in the first 3 to 6 months. I don't care. Don't follow it, because then you're gonna end up on the Reddit thread with the rest of the women who were like, I got off birth control to get my glow up and I ended up being pregnant. We're not manifesting that. So yeah, I don't know how I got on that tangent, but to say the aura ring is awesome. Aside from the birth control aspect, it's actually really cool. It does tell you more the longer that you wear it. So like the first week to 2 weeks, there were certain stats I could not get on the app because I hadn't worn it long enough. Oh, it said I'm stressed. So this is what the Aura app looks like. And it tells you things like this, like my body experiencing more stress today. It also does tell you when your battery's low, so I'll probably charge it while I'm on my laptop, but charging it takes like 30 minutes, and then you get like 3 to 4 days out of it before you have to worry about charging, which is awesome. It tells you how many calories you burned. It tells me my heart rate at all the times of the day. You can tag things like your workout and track that. I love it for sleep because you never know how you're sleeping other than how you feel when you wake up. So last night, I got 6 hours and 7 minutes of sleep. I usually get a little under 7 hours of sleep. Usually it's like 6 hours and 50 minutes. Sometimes I will hit it like the day before yesterday, I had like 9 hours of sleep. I don't know what happened. But it tells you about like REM sleep and how long you've been in that, whether or not your heart rate fell low too late or too soon when you're going to sleep. Like things you literally wouldn't know. It's not just about how you feel, but like understanding it a little bit more. And then it also gives you advice so that way you know exactly what you need to do in order to correct these things. So I think it's cool. And then just to show you guys, if you are thinking about doing this for birth control instead of going on hormonal birth control, Natural Cycles is the app that is the only app that has been proven globally to be another form of birth control. Like it's considered accurate enough. But again, you can't be accurate until you've used this app for like, I'm gonna give myself a whole 12 months until I can really trust it, despite the fact that it's been accurate so far because I'm not playing any game. And then the last app that I use is Stardust. Obviously you don't need all of these, and I love this app because it goes in a little bit more detail about your cycles. And then I like it because you can get your partner to also get the app. So Sam has the app and it tells me whether or not he's seen it. Usually he checks it and he thinks it's so funny because he says that it kind of comes from me, but like there will be days where the app, it always gives him something different than it tells me, but it's on the same page. So like the other day it told him that I might be eating everything in sight. Like my cravings might be out of this world, or some days it might say she might need an extra hug, all this kind of stuff. So yeah, this became a whole spiel that I didn't think I was going to get into, but I did. So if you have any questions about it, let me know. But now we are going to get on the laptop and do a little bit more yapping and a little more productivity. First, we also need to say hello to the man of the house tonight. JJ boy. I love you, Bubby. You've been a good boy today. You got your hair cut, so you're not fluffy no more. You can see out of your eyes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Your mama's boy. You've been such a sweet boy today, Bubs. Normally he's harassing me. Today he's been so sweet. Do you miss your daddy? Do you miss your daddy? Yeah. He'll always come back for you, Bubs. Be here tomorrow. He'll always come back for you. He's gonna come early in the morning because he misses you. He told me himself. Just as girlies. My sweet boy. Yeah. I love you, Bubby.